I'm sitting here doing some podcast editing, and something that's kind of mulling over in my mind is that I know a lot of us struggle on Mother's Day. It's a wonderful day, especially, if you have kids that you love and you have loved ones. It's a great day to celebrate mom. But for those of us that have either moms that have passed or have problematic relationships with our moms, it's a reminder every year of things that aren't how you want them to be. And I thought I'd share a little bit of perspective with you guys. I went full no contact with my mother, I think 8 years ago, give or take a year. I don't know. It's been a while. And it was hard. It was awful. I waited for a long time because I thought it would be the catalyst for her finally stepping up and being the kind of mom that I had always deserved. And, from the time I know middle school, but probably before that, I was always very open with her that I knew she didn't love me the way I deserved to be loved, and that I really, really wanted that. And she would dismiss it. She would gaslight about it, and I put up with it. I moved to Kansas City, and I decreased my contact with her a lot, but I still kept waiting for a relationship to get to a place where it was kind. And when I had Sterling, things seemed like they had changed a lot. And I can remember saying over and over again, I hope this lasts because things are good. But then as my kids started to get a little bit older, I noticed her doing weird grooming things, getting them to lie on her behalf. And, they would snoop together and just do weird things like that were carrying forth the same toxic behaviors to my childhood. And so I tried creating boundaries, and she would ignore them. She went through my stuff. She lied, and it wasn't until I caught her in a very minor lie, but that both of my kids were adamant that something had happened, and they were little. They were too little to really be liars. They knew that what she was telling them to do and was wrong, and I'm grateful that they told me, because it gave me an opportunity to really address it. And I made it clear to her that we had some, generations of family dysfunction that needed to be addressed in therapy. And she said she wasn't really interested in that. And for years I waited. I kept thinking at some point in time she would see what she was missing out on, because they're amazing people. And it would be the thing that pushed her to step forward and finally have a healthy relationship. And she told me point blank that it was too much work, that she wasn't interested in it. And that's okay. That's her right to make that decision. For a long time I waited, and I kept thinking, I had this hope that things would change. And finally in the last couple of years, I've let it go. I accepted the fact that if she wanted to be in our lives, she would be. The path was open, and that there was an opportunity, and she chose not to take it. And the biggest thing that I learned was how to mother my interior child. And that's a huge thing, because I hadn't realized how little mothering had happened until I started giving myself those messages that I wanted to hear, and telling myself that I was enough, and that I was loved, and that I was accepted unconditionally. And so if you're having a tough relationship with your mother, that's the thing that I hope for you most, is that Google healing mother wound. Work with a therapist. They are amazing for this. Or work on it on your own. There's tons of things like shadow work journals and those types of things that can help you work through whatever the trauma is. But you don't have to feel awful on holidays, and especially those that acknowledge the parental role that you may not have. And you can heal from this, and you can feel so much better. It used to be such a heavy time for me, but anymore, I don't have that need for her to fill that place in my life. And I hope anybody that's feeling pain out there today, I hope that this helps you and brings you a little bit of peace. And know that you're not alone. There's plenty of us that have walked this path before, and will continue to. It's an iterative process, but more than anything, know that you're loved and you are worthy of love. And hopefully you have that love in your side of yourself to support yourself and accept yourself just as you are. So happy Mother's Day, everybody.